and it's official. The British Army has lifted its ban on beards. It's historic to say the least because it's happening after 100 years. 100 years. For the last whole century, the British soldiers were not allowed to grow facial hair. Why so? To maintain a gentlemanly look, to appear neat and professional. But isn't a well-groomed beard professional all the same? And most importantly, does facial hair get in the way of defending your country by any chance? Well, no, and the British Army has finally acknowledged this. It was long overdue. The decision comes after years of debate over facial hair rules. In fact, the Defence Secretary Grant Shapps had branded the century-old ban ridiculous last year. He had said it was time to modernize, and armies around the world were perfectly capable of fighting with beards. After all, recruiting new soldiers had already been difficult, and the no beard rule was not helping the cause. The decision was so long in the making because a large number of stakeholders were involved: British politicians, allies, and His Majesty the King. The ban has finally been lifted. But there are still rules to follow, and there is no room for, first of all, only full-set beards are permitted. That means no goatees, no ducktails, no patches, or any other type will be permitted. Secondly, the beard length should be between 2.5 and 25.5 millimeters. It must be trimmed off the cheekbones and neck. No patchy or uneven growth would be allowed. Neither any exaggerated colors, and above that, the troops should be ready for their beards to be regularly inspected. After all, the army cannot compromise on its smart turnout and reputation. The new policy will come into effect immediately. The soldiers can stop shaving over the Easter holidays if they wish to. With that, the army rules will come into line with the Royal Navy and Air Force. The Royal Navy has long permitted sailors to have full beards and moustaches as long as their commanding officers are okay with it. The Royal Air Force also changed its regulations in 2019 to allow beards. Now it's the Army's turn. But what about the other armies around the world? Do they share the UK's hesitation towards facial hair? Well, the rules are different and interesting everywhere. The US does not allow beards either, unless for religious reasons. However, the American soldiers can keep moustaches, given that they are neatly trimmed, tapered and tidy, and do not cover the upper lip line, extend sideways or draw upwards. Russian soldiers, on the other hand, historically rocked beards, but then the rules were changed and stubbles were done away with. This was during Tsar Peter's time. He asked the troops to shave off their beards in order to look more European. Those who continued to keep theirs were asked to pay a beard tax. It was even mandatory for soldiers, except officers, to keep moustaches. Now the Russian soldiers need to stay clean-shaven. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.